everyone! Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the top 10 updates I would love to see in Star Stable. Some of these updates are things that Star Stable has teased themselves or have seemed to be working on, and others are things that are just personal hopes of mine. We're training Yellow Queen, or Heather McNamara, today. I'm so obsessed with this new outfit set. It is so freaking cute. Hopefully I don't lag too much. I'm actually on Night Star right now because I forgot to switch servers after helping someone take pictures for their Instagram. All right, let's get right into this. We're gonna be going in reverse order. So at number 10, we have the ability to be a Dark Rider. I think it would be so incredibly cool if you got to choose whether you wanted to be a Dark Rider or a Soul Rider. Now, I really doubt this is ever gonna happen because the whole theme of this game is like friendship conquers all, kindness, whatever. And just the amount of work they would have to do to add a whole separate path for being a Dark Rider. Star Stable would just never do that, and I don't blame them. It would be a lot of work. It might low-key be easier to just make a whole separate game where you're a Dark Rider. I see people like in their Instagram comments all the time asking them to add an option where you can choose to be a Dark Rider, and it makes me laugh a little just because that's never gonna happen. I feel like we need to accept it. It would be really cool. It's really fun to imagine that. We're not gonna get it anytime soon, at least not in this game. At number 9, I have more dogs. I should have put like a dog in my saddlebag for this. I think I have one. Yes, okay. So as you can see, the only dogs we have in game, at least the only updated dogs, are like terrier looking dogs. I personally am not a big fan of terriers. I'm just not a big fan of like small dogs in general. I have a lab myself, so medium to bigger dogs are definitely my jam, and I would just love to have a Labrador or a German Shepherd or something like that in game. Or honestly, even just different looking dogs, like a Dachshund. Dachshunds are like my favorite tiny dog breed. I would just die to have a Dachshund in my little saddlebag. Pets in this game are already so expensive, but at the end of the day, they're all just recolors of each other, and it's so insane to me that we pay so much in this game just for recolors of the same exact model. So it would definitely feel a lot more worth it if there were actual different breeds and different models of dogs. Give me more dogs, please, Star Stable. Next, at number 8, having a pasture in the home stable. So you know when you like turn out your horse and they aren't in your home stable, they're just like in the void? Yeah, I would love it if there was a huge pasture that you could go to. You like clicked on some door, maybe like the stall door at the other end of your home stable, and all of a sudden you're in this giant pasture and all the horses that are turned out are in there. Or maybe not all of them, but maybe you can like choose which horses to display in your pasture. I think that would just be so fun, and I feel like it wouldn't be too hard. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like Star Stable could do that. At number 7, I have ear bonnets and blankets. I feel like for some people it might be surprising that I put bonnets and blankets ahead of having a home stable pasture, but as a realistic role player, bonnets and blankets are something that I just desperately want in game. I edit them onto my pictures sometimes and it looks so cute, so please just give us ear bonnets and blankets. Again, this is something I feel is pretty realistic. I definitely think they could add this. Number 6 is one that newer players might not actually be aware of. Number 6 is the release of Ashland. I had a group of friends glitch into Ashland. I'm not gonna say who these friends were, and again, I definitely was not there. I did not go with them for sure. They told me that it was really cool and there was a big volcano there, and if you didn't know, Ashland is up here, I think, in the map. I think that's Ashland, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there's like a big volcano, and I think it has something to do with like the lore with the cultures, which Star Stable is kind of abandoned. Let me go to Ashland. It is very cool, or so I've been told, because I've definitely never been there before. I don't know if that's ever gonna come out. Like, I really, really hope so. The stuff and the assets are just there, sitting in an area that you can't access in game. game. They're just sitting there and rotting. Yes, it would definitely take some work, but Star Stable could totally turn it into a brand new, super cool area, and I feel like it'd really give Dino Valley some of that like mystery back. All right, number 5, we are halfway through the list now. Having all the tack retrofitted. This is something I need. I need it so bad. You have no idea how many times I've made the cutest outfit ever, and then I've wanted to put the specific tack on a different horse, and it's like, oh, this breed can't wear this tack. It makes me cry, and it makes me so mad every single time. I think Star Stable is supposed to be working on it right now. I'm pretty sure they said they wouldn't be releasing any more new like tack models until they finished retrofitting everything, but then they did. So either I have a really bad memory and they never said that, which like feel free to correct me, I could be totally wrong, or they said that and then they totally went back on their word. I don't know, but either way, I'm so sick of it because the new tack and everything, it is so expensive. You're paying all this money for tack that all of your horses can't even wear. It is truly a scam. At number 4 is another one that newer players might not really be aware of, and that is apartments. Do you guys remember when they added that store in, I think it's Governor's Falls, and it has like furniture in all the windows? And then in quests, they started giving us like couches and paint buckets and stuff. And we were all like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get our own apartment in Governor's Falls. And then that never happened. It very much seemed like Star Stable was working on it, and it seemed like they were like well on their way to releasing these apartments, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. There weren't any more updates on that. I have no idea what happened, but I just really want an apartment there. Not only would it be really cute for the realistic role players to say you have an apartment in the city, but it would also just be fun, you know? I feel like the city doesn't really have that much going for it, especially now with the global store. Do y'all remember when the global store wasn't a thing? I miss that. But especially with that now, everything that's like in the mall, in Governor's Falls, in Aideen's Plaza, whatever's even in there, it's all just available in the global store now. So there's kind of no reason to go there. So if there were apartments there, if there were like actual things to do, it'd really bring a lot more life and excitement into the city. Number 3, we're at top 3 now, is breeding. So we all know that breeding is coming to Star Stable at some point. I'm pretty sure that breeding is going to be considered generation 4 of horses. I'm genuinely just so curious as to how that's gonna work. I think it's Alicia Online that has like horse breeding. You choose 2 horses, they have a foal, and the way I guess the law sees it is it's technically gambling, or at least it is gambling when you have to pay like real money to be able to do this, like for example buy star coins, because you don't 100% know exactly what it's gonna look like. So if Star Stable adopted something like that, they made the breeding process cost star coins, which cost real money. In the eyes of the law, that would be gambling, and you can't have that in a children's game. So Star Stable is gonna have to get creative with how they do this. Either when you breed horses together, there will be like only one outcome, so you know exactly what you're getting and it's not a gamble, or it's not gonna cost star coins. Maybe it'll cost some special new currency they come up with. Maybe it'll cost Jorvik shillings. If it does, I'm sure they'll raise the limit of Jorvik shillings. I don't know, but I'm really excited for that update. At number 2, customizable home stables. This is something I just need. I need it in my life. I've seen some spoilers on like YouTube and Instagram showing customizable stable option things that Star Stable's worked on. So we know this is something that they've had in mind to make. It seems to be on a pause right now. There haven't really been any updates on it recently, but I do really hope they pick that project back up in the future. And when I think customizable home stables, there are so many different ways they could go with it. You could pick like color schemes for the wood and the stalls or whatever. They could make it so that depending on where your home stable is, it looks different. So that way you aren't really customizing it. Your home stable just looks different depending on where it is, which I think would be really interesting. Like for example, if your home stable is in Vale Hilldale. The inside is really like nature-y looking, if that makes sense. There's a lot of plants and stuff. If it's in Starshine, maybe there's some Western decor around the place. You know what I'm saying? I just think that would be really fun and add the whole other reason to have your home stable in a specific place. Number one dream Star Stable update is the ability to customize horses. Now, you probably hear me say that and you're like, Jasmine, isn't that like the same thing as breeding horses? And you know what I have to say to that? Kind of, but not exactly. So when I say customize horses, what I mean is, what if you really like this horse, but you don't like the face marking that it has? Well, then you'd be able to get rid of it. Or what if you really like this horse, but you wish it had a marking on its butt? Well, then you can add that marking on its butt. Sometimes they're horses, and I go, oh, that horse would look so cute with socks. You can add socks. I know this sounds kind of complicated, but if you just made like a certain amount of preset options, like for example, let's just say like 5 different places on the horse's body where you could add markings, and then you add like 5 different marking styles. You make the option to add socks, take away socks, have socks on like specific feet. And when I say customize your horse, I don't just mean like physically. I also mean your horse's personality. So in The Sims, you can give your sim like 3 traits. What if you could give your horse 3 traits? So what if one of your horse's traits was afraid of water? Maybe every time you go up to a water jump, your horse like freaks out, and maybe you could train that out of your horse by leveling up. This is something I don't really think Star Stable would ever add, unfortunately. It just seems too difficult, I guess, and not really like something they would do. That's just something that has always been a personal wish of mine. It just makes your horse feel more special and unique, like that's your horse. Those are all of the dream updates I have to share with you guys. Let me know in the comments any dream updates that you have. Okay, I love you guys. I will see you next week. Bye bye.